So last night when we chatted, you mentioned some behaviors of your students
Yeah.
that indicated clearly they don't understand the implications of their digital identity.
Yeah.
Maybe ask you just to recount some of those experiences you've seen.
Yeah. So a couple of the examples. One example was having my student in my class when I had a speaker come, and like many students, they're so attached to their phones and texting. So the student was texting, which was really quite rude. And what I ultimately did is I sent her an email saying, your behavior was not acceptable. And I have description in my syllabus to say what's acceptable, what's not. So I sent her an email saying what you did was totally inappropriate. And when she had responded, she responded in a very she didn't seem very sorry, right? It was I can do multiple things. You know, I can do two things at one time. I was paying attention, and at the time I thought, okay, who is this? And so I Googled the student, and wouldn't you know, she had a Twitter account, and it was open, and in the Twitter account there were a lot of different comments. The one that really caught my attention was, it said, I hate my university and I hate my professors. And as it turned out, the timestamp on that was about a minute off of the timestamp on the email that she had sent me. So, you know, you put two and two together, and I can't help but to think maybe she's referring to me. And then the other things that were in the Twitter account were things like comments of saying things like drugs or pot, alcohol. That's like making me choose between mom and dad. She had comments about where she liked to party. She had comments that were racist. And so I thought, okay, this is totally, I can't believe that students would have this. And as a student who represents our university, students that are going out to get jobs, this is publicly available. So what I did is I had been teaching a class on how organizations can use information systems to manage their impression, to become more efficient. And so on that day, I had a lecture on talking about how individuals, students, can use technology to enhance their image or use this for jobs. So I Googled, I had about 35 students. So I Googled them all. And so I came to class and I said, I just kind of started off with saying, this student here had a scholarship, a sports scholarship. This student here went to a community college playing baseball. You were a valedictorian. You were this, you were that. You hate your university and your professors, and you like to party at this, particular bar, and just kind of revealing these things. And then we had a whole conversation about how organizations can they use this public information to discriminate? Can you use this information to discriminate? And I told my students, I said, I discriminate. You will not all get the same grade. You will get grades based upon your effort. I said, I won't discriminate against race, against gender, against anything that's protected. I won't illegally discriminate, but we discriminate. And if you want to reveal the kind of people you are, don't you think that organizations are going to use that? And of course, the students, they're like, that's creepy. You can't do that. And I said, why would you not? I had another student then come back and say one of their jobs was to evaluate scholarships at our university. And as they would look through available social media that's publicly available, if they found evidence of students doing things like underage drinking, they would lose their scholarship. And this student's job was to basically do background searches, scour the social media, and if you had a picture of you drinking alcohol, you could lose scholarship. And of course, then you have to go through the process of, well, is that a legitimate picture? Is that but that person's job at the university as an undergraduate research, whatever it was that they were doing, was to scour these types of social media. And the students they're shocked that the things that they post, the things that they say, can actually then be used in ways that that will negatively affect them.
So I'm curious about drive-by comments. for example, I talk to you and I go on my open Twitter account and I diss you, saying, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, and you know, and whatever. And how does that impact you in the future?
So my comment to the students is I take an active role in managing my online digital persona, per se. This is the idea of saying all of my transactions, and then interestingly, as you're commenting, not just the things that I'm doing, but things that you're doing.
About you.
Right.
Like that one student, let's say she used your last name.
Correct.
She was totally getting into you personally.
Correct.
And there you've got the issue now.
Right. And as faculty, right, so how many students go and look at us on Rate My Professor?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And anybody can say anything. And you have the ability to, if somebody says something that is incorrect, right, that could be considered, I guess, libel because it's being written.
Yeah.
There is a mechanism or a vehicle for us to be able to argue that. However, if it's something that they say, you're a terrible professor, you're disorganized, you're, that kind of information will persist.
Yeah.
And so there are certainly things that we can't control, and unless you want to go off the grid, you have to accept that this is the world that we live in.
This is great. I appreciate this awesome feedback.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well, thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.